Yep.
What's up, man? I just started the Twitch stream.
All right.
Go. Up. Who gives a fuck about a punk ass villain? I do, because I'm the greatest villain of all time, infidels. It's HackerHamin. It's my right hand man, the evil Batman, and the evil Robin right here. HackerHamin and JoJan taking to the streets, infidels. Calling out all you suckers out here with no Vaseline. Put the shoot promo on you. Put it all on you, infidels. Here on your Impact Attack. Y'all.
So which one's Batman and which one's Robin?
Boy Wonder.
I'm assuming I'm Batman, right?
You're the Boy Wonder, man. You're Wonder Boy. You're Wonder Kid. Wonder Boy. That's you, bro.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What is the secret of your power, JoJan? Wonder Boy. Won't you take us far away from the mucky muck land? How was your trip to Tennessee to see Altered Bridge, man? I was happy you got away, got to see some of your favorite stuff, drink some dirty beers, and hopefully chase some tail.
Lots of beers, lots of music, and lots of money spent that I don't have. So overall, pretty damn good trip. So yeah, no, Nashville, that's a city, man. I didn't know what I was expecting. I knew it would be like music and like a bunch of bars and stuff, but
yeah.
Man, the vibe downtown there is unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
That's their whole gimmick, man, right? That's the whole thing there.
Yeah, it's just the whole vibe of all the music going around, everybody enjoying music. I mean, it was great. And then seeing the Alter Bridge, the greatest band of all time, you know.
Right. I mean, I know that's your favorite, so I mean that's always big when you get a chance to do that. Man, where did I?
Yeah, it was my I counted up. I think my 5th time seeing them. So
okay.
I was happy about that, and it's always good to hear Edge's theme music live, and Miles Kennedy absolutely slaying it on vocals.
I mean, that guy's vocals are unbelievable. You're like, who could ever do Axl Rose as good as Axl Rose? And not only does he do it, but he has his own thing. There's very few vocalists, you know, Chris Cornell, Axl Rose, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, have you seen him sing the ones where Scott Weiland, some of his songs?
Scott Weiland was unbelievable, bro. I saw Stone Temple Pilots open for Red Hot Chili Peppers. Darian
Lee. What a damn show that is.
And you know, Red Hot Chili Peppers went on after sundown, or right at sundown kind of. And they had all these big screens with a lot of visuals. So one time you're in space, next you're in the desert, and it all is cool. But, dude, Stone Temple Pilots went on broad daylight, no fucking bag of tricks. Go out there and watch us rock. Stone Temple Pilots blew Red Hot Chili Peppers out of the water. Blew them out of the fucking water, bro. So
yeah, I love that though. I love that's why I like Alter Bridge so much. They had a few like light shows to it, so the production was there, but it's still straight up. It's about just Mark Tremonti just shredding on guitar while Miles Kennedy's soaring vocals are over. It's just
I like music, even though he's gone now, Gord Downey from Tragically Hip, you know, is one of my favorites, and he's like,
really,
yeah.
I don't think I've heard of him. I'll have to check him out.
I mean, the Hip is like the Canadian Beatles, pretty much, dude. Like,
wow, okay,
yeah. So they're the soundtrack of Canada, and he died from brain cancer, but they had a big tour right at the end where he was holding on, and they had one national night in Canada where across 5 channels at the Sky Dome in Toronto, they did a 3-hour show and they broadcast it across the whole country. Like, that's how over this motherfucker is.
Yeah,
And people outside of Canada and the Northeast really don't show or don't know what's going on in the hood, man, because they're so massive. And it's that Canadian sound. He's got like a real like crying voice, but like he can
I mean,
his
I'm
vocals
a Jeff
are
Buckley
different.
fan, so that sounds fine to me.
Yeah. I mean, he's in that kind of Frank Turner vein. I had Ron Hawkins in, who's another Toronto legend from Lowest of the Low. There's like this corridor of people who've had to shovel snow for like that are over 9 foot tall, and they've had winter. The sound is just in the music. That's why Trailer Park Boys are big fans of him. He's been on Trailer Park Boys, done a couple cameos.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, if you look at their Tragically Hit video, the darkest one on YouTube, it's from Sunnyvale, where they go over to Gord's trailer to get a motor, and Gord wants chicken. They want him to go get chicken. They're going to steal a motor and put it in. So it's as Canadian rich as it comes, and I went to school there right in that corridor. So, dude, I always tell, especially, I know how much you like Alter Bridge. I think you would love the Tragically Hit, man. The songwriting and lyrics are fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out, man. I'm always down for new music. I downloaded a bunch of metal music on my iPod. There's a few new metal albums.
Well, we'll open and close this with Alter Bridge and the Hip today, then.
Yeah, we'll do that. Because they're, Alter Bridge, just incredible. If anybody hasn't seen a show yet, if you like Edge's theme song, check out more of them, because they are just.
I mean, the Edge's theme songs is what it is. You know where he really shines is as those acoustic sets with Slash.
Oh,
if you bring those up, dude, those are just unbelievable.
He did, I think it was what was it? Guitar Center sessions.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is the Guitar Center sessions.
God, man, dude, his voice is just so smooth. Like, no matter what octave he's in or range, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah,
his voice is just so damn smooth. It's incredible. Yeah, so
we make USAA insurance.
Shut the fuck up with these fucking commercials, bro.
Yeah,
YouTube is
brutal. The acoustic stuff's great. I mean, Watch Over You and In Loving Memory is two songs I really like. But yeah, it's just where his voice can shine a lot more, instead of trying to cut through this loud guitar sound all the time.
Trust freedom when it's not in your head. Well, everybody's fighting for the promised land. Oh, I don't need a civil war.
Woo! Shit.
It feeds the rich while it buries the poor. The power hungry solid soldiers in a human grocery store. Ain't that fresh?
Wow. Dude, here's something I'll stooge off that you'll get a shot on the impact attack. A lot of people know, obviously, my theater background, but when I got into school as a vocal major to sing, and
Really?
Yeah, I can sing in 5 different languages pretty fluently.
I did not know that at
opera
all.
And yeah, I don't break it out. So, I know as the voice is an instrument, that what that is right there is equivalent to Jimi Hendrix on guitar, really, at this point, man. Like, that's better than Axl Rose does it. And that's Axl Rose's song. And no one can be like, when he goes for it in that upper register and the key change, it's so clean. It's so clean.
That's the thing. It's his tone, really.
Yeah,
I love. But like, it's there are certain songs that Axl sings great, like songs like "Welcome to the Jungle." Those like dirty, sludgy songs. That's where Axl's voice shines. When it comes to anything ballady or anything, Miles Kennedy, like "Sweet Child of Mine," to me, Miles Kennedy sings so much better.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. You
just
could argue
his
that he
type of
sings
song.
all of Axl's things better because he's a better vocalist. Axl's
think
just
so,
an innovator. You never heard nothing like Axl before.
Right. Yeah.
Strangler
Axl does
Steve
have
in
a
the
great
chat.
vocal range, too.
Strangers Alley in the chat. Strangler Steve in the chat. Voices Misery in the chat. Strangler popping for my high face when I try and visualize vocals like and I come off the top of the head, especially when you got to go for that upper register. I don't need yours
So
and
tough.
like you got to go, you got to bring it from the back of your head up there. Otherwise, you'll never get to that falsetto. And like I just know I feel it because I'm a taught diaphragm singer and vocals. I feel that pull right through me, dude, as a singer. So when I hear that and I get into it, and I'm like, here he comes, and I could hit that note. Now he's gonna modulate, and he's going up to the seventh and ninth. No, I can't get there. Like it pulls it out of me, dude. It's a funny thing. But like that's my little I used to get compared once in a while to John Cocker once in a while when I would sing because
Really?
yeah, I don't
go.
break that shit out.
That's a good comparison though.
I always thought about starting. I suck at guitar and I want to get good, and I always thought about doing a YouTube cover channel of all the B-side stuff that nobody listens or knows about that I think are the best things, hip songs and Lowest of the Low, and just cover them.
Yeah.
But I just don't have time or like I don't want to stooge myself off to be
Too busy slapping infidels.
Yeah, like
at
you
wrestling
can't cross
shows, you know?
streams. You just can't cross streams like that,
Yeah,
unfortunately. So
So last recommendation for Miles Kennedy. He has a solo album out. I think he put it out like a year or two ago, and it's just strictly acoustic type stuff, and it's just absolutely incredible.
that's his best shit, man.
Yeah. So if the last recommendation for Miles Kennedy, check out his solo album. It is so damn good. Some of the stuff he puts out there.
Why don't you try and get an interview with him, man? Invite him on. Dude.
I've interviewed him in when I was in Fayetteville for a radio station that I no longer work for, but I interviewed him, and he is just a night. Like I was nervous as hell. Like I'm not nervous. I had Lou Ferrigno literally standing maybe like 3 or 4 feet next to me in an interview, and I was not like. I was not starstruck, intimidated. I was just Lou Ferrigno talking, and I got him to talk about shitting his pants. But Miles Kennedy is the first time ever in an interview. Like I've interviewed Seth Rollins, Lou Ferrigno, a bunch of cool guys, but that was the first time I was ever nervous.
Yeah, where
Like,
you feel the glow coming out of you. That guy has an
my
impression. It's the same on HackerHamin when I had Ron Hawkins on, dude. A lot of people are like, I've never seen you. I could see how happy you were, but like those are the people that are the soundtrack to our lives, and that's super important, you know. So they say you don't want to meet your heroes and whatnot, but dude, I think it's the opposite of that. Because of people I lost in my life, I go out of my way to tell somebody, and some of them appreciate it, and some of them get it, and they're almost a little struck by it.
Yeah.
Where I'll be like, hey, I just want to tell you brought great joy to my life, you know, and they're. Yeah. As an artist, there's nothing more that you really want to hear as the pat on the back of being
or just
vindicated.
feeling like I've had it a few times with radio show, like, oh, I listen to you every day or something
sure.
like that. And that, dude,
I told Leahy that from Trailer Park Boys. He was like taken aback, and we had a genuine moment. I've told Scott Steiner that, you know, and I've told Michael Shannon that in the streets, and he had a very genuine reaction to it. So they say don't meet your heroes, and I have been disappointed by some people who are playing character and whatnot, but if you have a chance to make a moment and tell someone, who gives a fuck if they're celebrities, we're all just humans on a rock, and they appreciate that more than shouting out their movie lines and shit
right,
like
yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
I know, like, what is it? It's shouting out like some movie quotes. I noticed some like comedian.
That's the lowest form of comedy. Like that's the common man worst, in my opinion. Sometimes it's funny, but you know, is a reference. But yeah. But this is the opening of your Impact Attack. I'm glad JoJan's back. He got to see his favorite band and unwind after a long and hectic holiday season, and wrapping up with the Super Bowl, and the XFL was really good in the kickoff.
XFL was amazing. Did you get to watch any of it?
I watched Saturday, like 3/4 of Saturday stuff and about half of Sundays, and really, really enjoyed a lot of it, man. I think it was good. Now let's see if they can sustain. It's going to be a tough week this week. They're against NASCAR Daytona 500, bro.
They are. I think what helps out though is AAF when it launched last year, it was more of a novelty experience of, wow, we're watching football in February again. This is great. There's new football. But then once the game started happening, it wasn't very good. The production value sucked. The game sucked, and it just wasn't a good product. XFL last weekend, that was above all because I thought the production was great. They did new things like putting betting into a broadcast, which was great. But at the surface, that was some damn good football we got to watch this past weekend.
Absolutely.
I thought the play of it, the players certainly looked talented and great. PJ Walker, the quarterback for Houston Roughnecks, was incredible. I've seen him play at Temple against ECU, and he was good in college. Just smaller guy, not really too accurate yet. Just needs a chance to
well, here's what's exciting. It's about the football. Mm-hmm. They'll be saying these guys might have had 5 practices together. Well, that means they don't know shit. It's about the play. It's about the execution, how close can it. So every play's exciting. It's not about, franchise. We've seen fucking Joe Montana to Jerry Rice. We've seen, where you know what to expect. Every play's some exciting shit that could be a pick. And it's believable that it could be. If somebody in NFL is throwing picks like that, you'd be like, "What the fuck? What the fuck, Eli? Get off the field!" That's my nightmare.
It would be Eli.
Yeah, well, you fucking better believe it would be in the third quarter when it mattered most. Dude, that's my nightmare that Eli Manning's going to show up in the XFL.
No, I don't think so.
Holy shit.
Why would that bring back bad memories?
Dude, I want to kick his ass, bro. I want to punch him right in his boo-boo face.
Are you a Giants fan?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I haven't watched him 4 years because of I said not until he's gone.
Well, because they kept him 4 years too long.
Kept him 6 years too long.
Probably.
Strangler Steve asks, who's the most disappointing celebs I've ever met? Ooh. Fuck yeah, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, so he couldn't have been too disappointing. What's his name on the new Lego show? Who was married to Amy Poehler? He was a fucking prick.
Oh, married to Amy Poehler?
He wasn't married to Amy Poehler.
Oh, okay.
He's on that new Lego Masters fucking show. What the fuck?
Have you seen that? I haven't seen it.
I don't know. I just knew it drew a rating.
It looks really stupid.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It reminds me of everything that's wrong with Finn Balor. And then CM Punk. I've never seen more lackluster of a guy who could have, done the right thing on multiple opportunities and didn't. So. That's that. There's the Andy Dick story, but he's not really disappointing. He's just a crazy flamboyant gay who wanted drugs. So,
yeah, I don't think I've been disappointed by celebrities. The people that most disappoint you are the ones that are sort of semi-famous, but act like they're some sort of big hot shot. That always is the one that's dude.
Mike Myers was cool. I mean, he was a little weird because he was so big at the time.
When did you see him?
I worked security for him, and it was the Improv Olympic 30th anniversary, which was a debacle because they were selling tickets between $79 and $300. This is 2000. Let's see, OVW, it's 2004, and so it's at the Chicago Theater, and I was talent handler, so I had Andy Dick, I had Horatio Sands. And then when they got there, I was working the door to the backstage for anybody to come. So George went with Norm from Cheers. Came. I don't know if that might be before your time, but that's a big name in the 80s from Cheers. George went. Then Joel Murray showed up, Bill Murray's brother. And so I had all 4 of those guys. Dave Koechner was there from Anchorman, right around that time. Then Amy Poehler, Rachel Dratch, Mo Collins from Mad TV, Mike Myers, Andy Dick, and then who else? There's a couple other big names in that too. So it was pretty star-studded event, and the sound system shit the bed, and everyone was losing their minds and shit at the Chicago Theater. So they are all staying at the hotel. Oh, Andy Richter from Conan O'Brien. That's who else I had.
Yeah.
So I had to take them all up the street, and there's people outside with big things that Shrek sells to get Mike Myers to sign them so they can turn around and flip them on eBay for $1,200. You know what I mean? So he did sign a couple of them, but then he's like, all right, guys, let's go. So I was like, all right, box out. Let's roll. I had to push some marks back and shit. But, that was it. then at the
that was around that time. That was definitely the height. Because that was right after, I think Goldmember was like a year or two before that, and that was big. Well, after all the Austin Power stuff, but then Shrek was absolutely fucking huge.
you could just see like the dude had a different life. You know what I mean? And he'd gone through Wayne's World. He'd gone through all that shit. He's a mega star, you know. And it was kind of the same when I worked security for Triple H too. Like by that time, he was the fucking man. Like that was that. So some people are come back are just one of the boys, and Game was cool enough, I guess. But you know that you're dealing with somebody on a upper level. So.
Yeah. Speaking of somebody on another level, the John Cena news, man.
What's the John Cena news? I'm breaking it.
He's coming to SmackDown on Friday.
Yeah, via Skype, or is he actually going to fucking show up?
I didn't get much on it, so let me look that up. But yeah,
Goldberg was on SmackDown too via fucking stupid ass fucking remote, dude. When they build him to be there.
No, I think he's actually coming back. He will be wherever SmackDown.
For what reason? There was nothing that Cliff hanged it on SmackDown.
He's promoting a project. He's promoting a movie that he's in called The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Okay, and is Disco Inferno gonna get fucking royalties off this? Because The Invisible Man in wrestling is his idea. So
was it really The Invisible Man was his idea?
He's got all these dumb fucking funny gimmicks or whatever.
So apparently. This Friday, so who knows? It might be Scott. It might be from the damn like movie set or something too.
Yeah, like that. If they do that twice in a back to back, people are gonna fucking talk shit on him. So he better show up, dude.
Well, especially this time because
I gotta believe he'll show up.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he'll be at Mania this year. It has to be. I think this one we get Cena back at Mania. I don't think he misses another one.
What the fuck is?
Did he really miss?
Will Arnett. That's who was a pretty big prick to me. I can't fucking remember his name. Will Arnett, man, and I don't know. He's been through a lot, I guess, in his life too. Probably self-inflicted from how he did, but usually pieces of shit usually get over, and he's over right now. So whatever. I remember he was on stage too at Improv Olympic. Like he was a fucking superstar, and he had a baseball hat on, and he was all like this on stage, and like people paid money to come see him perform. It was him and fucking Tim Meadows was there, a bunch, Horatio Sands was there, fucking, and he's like trying to be fucking cool guy, you know, like. I was like, dude, stop being.
That's what I'm trying to be right now.
Yeah, but you're not on stage where there's an audience paid to see you right here. Like,
right.
Dude,
Why are you trying to hide from the audience?
I just hate pricks like that. I just want to fucking smack them in the face, bro.
Well, you're pretty good at that.
Yeah,
like
I tried to get a match with Dave Koechner going, but I thought it might happen. But then he just went silent, and they backed out after he tried to talk shit. I'm like, dude, like these are the guys that should be doing crossover and shit. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of comedy people just sandbag until they get over, and then some bring their friends along with them. There are a lot of people who get their own shows and they cast their friends right now. There's a lot of good of that stuff going on, but there's some people who get there and they come back and just so they can act like they're over, but they're not really willing to do something exciting or whatever. They want to do something safe, or they don't have the business mind to fucking do it. It pisses me off.
Yeah, because comedy and wrestling are such a. I mean, we've seen it work in the past. How great of a crossover that is.
At Improv Olympic, when Dave Koechner was there with Beer Shark Mice and the guys Neil Flynn and whatnot, who are awesome improvisers. They were on Scrubs and all that shit. He was the janitor on Scrubs. They're all IO guys.
Oh my God, the janitor on Scrubs.
Yeah, he's the man. And he's on a team with. They're called Beer Shark Mice. Pete Holney, him, Dave Koechner, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Sorry, but. I could have done so much with them. So they go to IO and they might sell their shows $25 ticket. You can only put 150 people tops, maybe 120 in the theater that they're going to be in. And they're not streaming it. Dude, you know what we could have done at some of these shows? I worked in Chicago where at Blitz. They were drawing 800. Imagine if you build it, the Koechner and them were going to be on the show. Could have fucking drawn 1,500. But these guys want to act like they're fucking over when they could have done a bit and worked for 8 minutes instead of improvising for an hour and fucking reached way more people, man. It's just crazy to me how small they fucking make their business when it could be a lot bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly could be. I don't see. Yeah, I don't, see
I
why
don't got
not.
time to school them anymore. I'm done with. I'm done worrying about them. Like, fuck it, they're not gonna get it. Why waste my fucking breath?
Well, we are going to school everyone on some Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else you want to go over before we get into that.
Nah,
I know the John
we've-
Cena news was the big news, really, that I saw. Other than that,
We've done plenty on the front end, putting over Miles Kennedy and whatnot.
I think we did enough of that. Yeah.
Big night tonight. If you're listening now, if I get this out for afternoon Wednesday, twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. It's 7:15. New time, but tonight Tim Alberino, one of our favorite guests of all time, is coming back to join us, man. So very excited to have Tim Alberino back on tonight if you're going to check it out live. And if not, it'll be out on Friday. So it'll be on my YouTube, and it'll be on, obviously, HackerHamin.podbean.com audio-wise.
There you go. So everybody definitely check that out. So let's get into it. Impact Wrestling. So basically where we're at right now with Impact is this is the last show with the Mexico City tapings. Next it will be in Las Vegas. I've heard good things about the Las Vegas tapings, but this is the last one in Mexico City. And we start off with, first it's a recap of the number one contender match, but we start off with the best of 5 series, Michael Elgin and Eddie Edwards. This of course, the best of 5 series. Michael Elgin already 1-0.
Yeah.
Michael Elgin now 2-0. The match, again, my problem with this isn't that these guys don't have good matches together. It's just that we've seen it too many times already. And I wish there was a little bit of variety in the matches, but there's not. I wish there was at least some kind of maybe a tables match or whatever. Do something like something different.
Yeah, have a
fish
fishbowl where they reach in and open and they pull it out, and like, what's the match going to be, right? Like,
right, exactly. But it was the same match that they've been doing, and it's a little bit different. But how much different can you be when you have the same move set and you can only be limited in terms of what you can do? I don't know. It was good, I guess, but I've seen it already a million times.
I didn't even think it was that good. There was a lot of loose stuff in it, like a lot of things where should be tight, and they're just trying to bring that. We work in Japan, but we're white guys bringing it back to America style. I absolutely loathe that shit where it's like, fucking hit you, you're down. I go to hit the ropes, you instantly sell up and you're running behind me so I can turn around and you can hit me with the boot and I'm down. Then you go off and I cut you off and come back to life instantly. Like, that's bullshit to me. That's the worst part of Japanese wrestling, and they're trying to get it over as a thing that will work. Did you hear that crowd?
That crowd was dead from the start.
Fucking dead. Yeah. No stakes. It was flat, bro. And is it 2-0 Elgin or is it 1-1?
2-0 Elgin.
Well, then they should do what we said. He should go over 3-0 strong.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the next one don't do another 15-minute match or whatever. Don't do the same thing. Do something different. Maybe Elgin wins in a minute or two.
They're not gonna. They're gonna do some storyline finish to keep something going, but they're not gonna do it because they're already locked in because they're marks for that Japanese style, and it's fucking not hitting, and it's definitely not hitting in Mexico where they like characters, big flamboyant interactions.
Yeah,
dude, Eddie. It was weird to me, the transformation of Eddie Edwards, because I remember I used to bust Eddie's chops, and he probably hates me for it, but like, it was always just kind ribbon. I could be one of those people where Eddie's like, that guy's a fucking asshole, but like, he always looked like the paper boy to me because he's so pure and white bread looking, you know, like a natural baby face. I go, look at this guy. He's too nice to beat anybody up. And he would laugh it off, but he was making a lot more money than I was at the time. That's like Eddie and Davey Ring of Honor days where they were doing these super long promos that were terrible. Didn't protect him at all. But anyway, Eddie now with the beard and the fucking braid mohawk, scumbag look, little extra weight. Like, he looks like Masada to me, like a deathmatch worker. And he's kind of like taking the Tommy Dreamer new extreme guy to where he wants it to be with all the skills he has when he's a far more polished technical wrestler and better babyface like this scuzzy Eddie. I don't know if I enjoy it or not. I don't know how I feel about it.
Right.
But I know this match was kind of paint by numbers and a lot of bullshit, and they buried a lot of wrestling that they used to be better at to get over this Japanese style. I don't like it, and I think it kicked the show off real flat, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah, I thought so too. The crowd was definitely flat. I mean, I know that, and for me, it kind of took me out of the first part of the show because
Me too.
It's not like this was a short match either. This was a good like 15, 20 minutes. This was a long match. Two guys we've seen already wrestle a bunch of times before. And going forward, I guarantee you they're not going to do. I know we talked about it last week. Make Elgin just look like a big badass. Have him go over quickly in that third match or whatever. I guarantee you Eddie Edwards comes back and ties this up 2-2. That's just where I think this.
I hope not. I hope
like
not. I hope he goes over 3 strong and there's a better story.
I hope so.
You never.
Yeah.
When do you see that? When have you seen best of 5 series, best of whatever, where it always has to come out? Oh, he's down. He comes back. They tied it up. Wait till the big one, the big rubber match at the end. Fuck that. Make them, bro. Make them. And that drives Eddie psychologically to someplace. Now we're in story. Like, who wants to see more of these matches? I don't want to see these guys take excessive bumps, and I really don't like them watch. I don't like watching American wrestlers bastardize the style because I hit you with something big, you go down for 2 seconds, and then you jump right back up because you got to exchange it because this is how they did in Japan. Well, now you just set a precedent, especially in the opener, for the rest of the show. So guys who do sell off one thing the proper way, not because it was cool in Japan and that's some flavor, that's not. Japan's wrong. They're stupid. They don't know how to sell. They don't know how to get their opponent over. It's not, you hit me and I hulk up and I'm super strong and then I die and then I come back. That's so dumb. That's shitty wrestling, dude. And now they're glorifying it and normalizing it. Not good.
Yeah. I think the one way to salvage this is just have Michael Elgin win it, and then because you're right, then it sets up. It naturally that's it. That's the thing I think wrestling sometimes forgets, or just from my point of view. I'm somebody who really likes sports. There's naturally storylines that come out of winning and losing. If a team is 3-0 and loses their next 3, that's a big storyline. Damn, what happened? Or or a team that is like Elgin up in a World Series or a division game, whatever, up 2-0, and they win the series and sweep. Well, then the other team's like, damn, what the hell just happened? Like, we just got swept, and the other team looks all this momentum going into the next thing. So
if he loses, if he goes 0-3 and he's down, here's an opportunity for Davey to come back and lift them up. They do something in solidarity together, and they're back on, like the path down the mountain is just as important, dude, and sometimes far more interesting. We want to see people hit rock bottom and tragedy and like tell that story. And Eddie can tell some good stories. His shit with Sammy was awesome. So the wrestling though, man, I just can't put that over, dude. And I'm probably going to work a show with Elgin in the next month or 2. I'm not going to be like, dude, what are you doing? I get it. You do what you want. They tell you to do on TV, or else there was nobody stopped them from doing that because they're too over and they can do what they want to do. That's the flavor he wants to present. So be it.
Right. So Michael Elgin won that 2-0, and I'm sure we'll get that next one, and we'll see what they do with it. But next, we kind of get Taya backstage getting interviewed. This did nothing for me. I don't know if you got anything out of this other than that. It's just, Taya, you have a match. And she just said, are you ready? Of course I'm ready. And that was it. I don't know what.
This show, is pretty piecemeal together, bro. This whole show.
I don't know. Why would you even have that segment, even that little backstage segment?
Because they're the main event, and you're trying to thread something through. You're trying to show some continuity. Now the content wasn't there. You know,
that's the thing. If you're going to do this, you have to have the content first. If there's nothing to say, then why say anything? And so that was that. I guess that was my point. Is that there was no substance. She said nothing. So it was just, to me, 5 minutes of dead air.
I'm going to tell her you said that.
You're going to tell her I said that? Oh, God. She would definitely kick my ass, so don't do that. So next, Madman Fulton and Daga. This was pretty good. The crowd was really behind this one. I guess Daga, they really enjoyed. And Madman
Oh yeah.
Fulton, I I like his stuff. I like what he does. This match I thought was
Yeah,
good.
but
Madman Fulton won. What do you think about this? Because it is. I know you're a sucker for sort of bigger guys and how they work. So what do you think about this match and Madman Fulton?
I think Madman Fulton's getting it. Like he
Yeah.
knows his character, he knows how to combine it. He's got a Kevin Nash like apocalypto feel, you know. But there's spots that they're missing, and I laugh because it's cute to me because I feel like I'm in the control room watching students, you know, and this guy's on TV. He looks good for TV. It's just they make mistakes in their matches, and the Chris do because they're still indie guys who don't know the complete WWE style, but they do amazing things. So it doesn't really make much fucking difference at the end of the day. Like Chris come out, right? And Daga's over because they're in Mexico and they're like Daga was the most over guy in the fucking show. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was.
Which is good, especially if you're trying to get Fulton over as a big heel because you want him to fucking squash out the guy who's got the biggest pop. That'll make him a stronger heel. So when they come out there and do whatever and Daga gets his shit in on him and takes him out, then he slides back in. That should be the time that Fulton was down fake selling like he was. He was down good on the sell and Daga should come get him. And that's when he pops up and fucking gets him because the distraction on the outside took enough where he could play possum to get his energy level back up wrestling wise to do that. Instead, Daga fucking hits him with another gimmick and lays him the fuck out too and buries him. So they do the spot the right way, but then the payoff of what it should be doesn't happen. They switch it. So to me, that looks like guys who don't know, like on the upper level of wrestling. Like if I was sitting there watching that with fucking D-Lo backstage, we'd both just go, if you can't see it on the video, I just shook my head and be like, oh, okay. You know, but like, that's the difference. And I'm sure that happens a lot where, well, we tried and I'll talk to them and we'll try and teach them for next time. Well, unfortunately, this is what's on tape, and guys like Disco
and this was an opportunity with the crowd
right
behind him, behind Daga as it was. Yeah.
And that's where the finish needs to go. It needs to be the distraction. Daga gets his shit in, boom. It's the fucking big heel because, god damn it, Daga would have won if those two assholes, even though he took them out, he had Fulton down. But no, Fulton fucking had enough in him to hit Daga, and that was it. And he's the big. That's the finish.
And it's just I always like the visual of that too because the Undertaker and stuff would do that, and Kane. It always looked like those two were supposed to be badass, like demon characters. And Madman's a little bit like that. It's not a demon, like mystic type character,
right?
That visual of him just putting his arm up like that and grabbing a dude's like that looks
that's
great.
enough. That's enough, right? And fucking boom, hits it. Now you put him over as the big man who can win with a big motherfucker, even on this guy who could have won because he had him down. That's the whole thing in wrestling. God damn it, our babyface could have won if it just wasn't for that one heel thing. Or, yeah, the babyface won because they fucking outsmarted him, did this, that, and the other. You know, like, that's the simplicity of the dance. And when you feel it and it's right there, but they do another two dips to get their shit in to do these fucking cutesy indie fucking things that end up meaningless, you end the scene. You had them here at the very top of the mountain and you went back down 20 yards and ended it with a less of like, yeah, we still, or boo, fuck you, why'd you fuck over Daga? Well, you could have ended with really like, I fucking hate you, how do you end up with Daga? Like, that is the difference in your reaction of knowing when to take it home off that spot. And they didn't, and it dipped down. And that's just, hopefully guys are teaching them. Hopefully, you know, I don't know who they got back there. Still Pat Kenny, Simon Diamond, or Dreamer. Hopefully somebody is being like, hey guys, come here. Let's talk about this. You were so close. You got the finish, but you don't need to do that dip because if you're doing that spot, here's where you got to take it home.
You already had him, basically.
You had him.
it.
And you lost him a little bit.
Yeah. One thing I look at a lot in terms of a character like Madman Fulton is kind of like mannerisms and how he wrestles, specific to what his character is. Because I did you watch those Undertaker Kane Stone Cold podcasts?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They were the best part about those to me were how they were able to set up how their character moves and looks and wrestles, based on what the backstory of the character is. I'm like, yeah, I never think about that. That stuff I don't think about. I just see the Undertaker going up and think it's cool, but it has a meaning to it, and everything does. So looking at that with Madman Fulton, is there anything he needs to do specific like that in terms of how he wrestles, how he moves? I think he does pretty good with it. But is there anything you see that maybe he could do better like that?
The hair is his gimmick, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he needs to, like, if he's gonna hook something, he can flip his hair and get a look before something happens. If he's a madman, what is a fucking madman like?
You don't want to look at
He needs to fucking do something with his face that locks in where the camera can come in on him, and then he unleashes hell on somebody. That Psycho Sid was great at it. So
Yeah.
he just needs to take a minute for character and make sure he's tightening things up, and he don't need to do a bunch of fucking offense and shit because. Like I never want to see this guy doing ranas and shit like that. You don't see Ben Hamin doing that stuff. Like, know where your power is. If you're with a guy like Daga, he fucking flips and flops all around you. You try and get him up for a slam. He gets out of it and gets you in a victory roll. You kick out, fucking knock him the fuck out, pick him up again, get a little heat on him, and then you go to get something. Tombstone, he kicks his way, wiggles out, flips forward, fucking gets you in the thing again. And then you're out. All he needs is one escape and a pin by out wrestling you. Then you kick the fuck out of him with strikes. Baby faces shouldn't be striking unless it's retribution after a lot of heat. Then when they can battle back, like the crowd's like, fuck yeah, enough wrestling, kick his fucking ass.
Right, like an example like Trey Miguel should do to Ace Austin. Whenever,
Exactly.
He can throw punches because of this scumbag Ace Austin.
Right, sure, because they've got a feud at that point. But I'm talking even in a regular match. The babyface should be wrestling. The heel needs to cheat and strike. Madman's such a big motherfucker that it's just that
All
he
it
gets.
takes is strikes to be believable.
That's it. He fucking can cut you off with one club to the back and then one big boot. Yeah. And then he needs to be able to parade around the ring and go, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch. And then they pick him up and then he struggles out and keep alive. So that's his whole game. It isn't a watch me get my shit in fest. You know what I mean? Like that's it. If he's going to do anything big, it's got to be like a big finish where he sets a guy up in the fucking corner, like on the top turnbuckle who's all fucked up, hooks him for a stunner, like he's going to give him a bulldog or something, or a stunner off the second, and it's massive. You know what I mean? Like something big that way where it's a get your shit in, I killed him. And usually that's only in a match that's a setup for what's coming. So it's like a get over match. So after he kills that guy, he can stand over him and go, you're next, dude. I'm coming for you, or whatever, and eyeball it. So that's what I think I would be working on him with to tighten some things up. Sammy knows he looks cool. He's part of a dope clique right now that can all get over individually. And I think he's getting it. I think he's getting it pretty fast.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's just I've been interested more in that and how a certain guy should move or should wrestle, specific to the character and the type.
You want to talk about how you don't do it? Look what the fuck happened on Raw. Did you watch Raw?
No, I did not watch.
We had an 8-man fucking main event with Owens, Samoa Joe, Vikings versus Rollins, AOP, and Murphy. Mm-hmm. All set up so there could be one spot where where Owens and Hanson and Joe all do a dive through the middle rope together. Like that match is not supposed to be the main event. You go to almost any house show, they close with a 6 or 8-man main with the shotgun finish and all that shit, and they did it all. So they're booking house show shit for their mains instead of telling story. You know what I mean? So just to mark out for a spot, and that's really them marking out for AEW because they're like, oh, the fans want that Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks versus house party or whatever, you know what I mean? They want all that. So we're going to give it to them with our guys, even bigger. So once you've seen the goddamn Hindenburg go down 3 times in one match, what the fuck else is there? Imagine you're got to be the luchas who go out and are supposed to do the dives, but no, Joe Owens and those guys are now doing your shit. It's the same as that Brian Cage shit, which he's hurt now, and he did all that shit, and that's not him. He's the Ultimate Warrior. He's a Sid, you know, like not fucking Rey Mysterio at 330 pounds, dude. So guys just got to know what their archetype is on the show, and that's what you're saying with The Undertaker. That's where you'll be successful. Yeah. There's a clip going around now where he's talking to 2 young wrestlers who both look like
It's a great clip.
Who both look like Ricochet, in my opinion. And by that I mean thin, athletic, can probably flip, can probably do shit I could never do. But guess what? They're a dime a fucking dozen because they can't sit up at the right time, look at the camera, get a character over, connect with an audience. All they can do is fucking acrobatics, dude. And look at, if you didn't watch Raw, you didn't miss Ricochet's promo because it was god awful again. I don't know how 80% of what we do in entertainment here is character driven. And yeah, you can do all this cool shit, but that's 20%, bro. No one's connected with that after week 6 or 7. We've seen it. We've seen every trick you got in your back pocket physically. But I don't know shit. I haven't connected with Ricochet on any level at all. And that's exactly what I feel these kids are, because they're going to be looking at The Undertaker and go, dude, I got advice from The Undertaker, and I sat down. Which one of those kids is going to take that and go develop a character? They're going to watch movies and go, this is the movie I connect with. I'm going to take this character because I know I can live it and I relate to it. How can I put it in wrestling and turn it up? And what are the programs that I need to get involved with on the indies to hone my craft and my character, so when I take it to WWE and NXT tryout, I've got something that's unique, mine, and no one does it as good as me. Those kids aren't thinking that, bro. They're thinking, oh, I got $40 on my last envelope. Maybe I can get 50 this time. And dude, I can't wait to pull 21 minutes in the fucking opening match and do 6 dives and get my fucking shit in, because they're young, stupid, and they're not going to fucking listen. The only way they're going to learn is by failing. And unfortunately, this business is now filled with dudes like that who get spots who will never know how to do this fucking craft properly.
And the thing is, characters still do get over, I think, very well. I watched
more than anything.
I watched the quick. It's like a 10-minute Warhorse documentary, and it's just his career was kind of flatlined, stale, and then all of a sudden he comes up with this character. He actually comes up with the character, and the Warhorse character, and now it's just everything skyrockets for him. People, I think people still are drawn to characters because characters make better promos. Characters, I think, have things we can connect to whenever they do anything in the ring. It's just. Characters, to me, yes. This is an entertainment business, so I don't get why there aren't more characters. Instead, it's just everybody's sort of I think that was the Undertaker's message, was everybody was sort of the same, giving the same message, the same promos, and everything.
Do these guys know? They say tell a story in the ring. Here's what tell a story means. It means the story of the body part you're working. With me, I'm going to beat you with what move?
You're going to be with the camel clutch.
So
right?
What body part should I be working?
You're working everything up here, right?
Yeah, neck, back,
neck,
right?
Yeah.
Even a Garvin stomp to break down all the joints. So that's my story, the physical story. Now, the story we're telling is also David and Goliath. When it's me versus Joe Pimentel. When it's me and Kong, it's Godzilla and fucking Mecha Godzilla are in town and everyone's getting fucked up. Ooh, how are they going to beat these fucking 2 Gulliver's Travels motherfuckers? When it's me and GGP and it's the Conspiracy Horsemen, it's a fucking gang fight. And we're up, you know what I mean? Until I'm by myself. When I'm doing hostage situations, taking chicks and berating them in a feminist thing, I'm telling a different fucking story. You know, when I'm going to invade a company and all that kind of shit, they're waiting for a first strike. It's anticipation. How do you, those things I'm talking about, anticipation, fear, that's the fucking story. Now, what stories in history convey that put the fear of fucking God in people, or they make you want to overcome and overthrow and have hope of a tyrant being overthrown. Okay, but do you think those kids are looking up, like I did, Hitler, Tojo, Saddam, Bin Laden, George Bush Sr. And Jr., and taking everything from them, putting that into a blender, and then fucking having the balls to grow out a fucking beard for 5-6 years when your wives hate it, and fucking be like, fuck that, this is my dedication to what I'm doing. And unless you have that level of commitment, you shouldn't even be on the other side of the barrier in this business. And that's really what Undertaker is telling those fucking kids. And they're going to listen to it or they're not.
Yeah, and that video is incredible to watch. Just a minute of Undertaker saying, probably giving lessons that people pay a lot of money for, and he's just giving away, and it's on this video.
Yeah, it is.
But so after that, we got Madman Fulton getting the win, but backstage, we get Moose getting a massage, acting like sort of a sleazeball, coming on to this masseuse, and then in comes Rhino and starts massaging Moose a little rough, and then Moose realizes, oh shit, that's Rhino, and they start getting into a fight. Now it was cool to have Rhino do that, but then it got a little silly when we're doing the towel slapping thing, and that's when I'm like, this is weird. Like, what?
Yeah, it got phony.
Were they just hanging out, or are they actually?
I didn't mind Rhino coming in, with the massage.
No, I thought that was great. I thought that was.
And then no, it's me. But then, dude, like, then it got corny, and I don't know.
Yeah, it got really corny. Taking the towel off, and he has like this red, like small underwear, and then slapping him with the towel and stuff.
If they were gonna do it, they should let Moose's dick hang out and fucking blurt it and shit. Like, they should have. Like, they should have, dude.
So I don't know. Again, they're still trying to. This feud is still kind of coming together, and I still have zero interest in it. And
yeah, Moose was up there, but
slapping Moose with a towel is not something that's going to get.
That's not it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like Vicious Rhino, but this wasn't a very well thought out pre-tape. This kind of feels like something that was put together on the fly, where they're like, we need something. What can we do? Let's do this.
Yeah. And I didn't like what they came up with. But we're on to, I think, a guy you really like and talk about a lot, Fallah taking on Ethan Paige.
Yeah.
I thought this was good. Again, I think you mentioned last week that you said Fallah looks pretty good, moving around really well.
Moving much better.
This match was a good example of that. I thought he moved around really well in this match, and he looked. Again, I say this every time he's in the ring, but he always seems to steal the spotlight to me. Because he wrestles different than everybody else I see on Impact Wrestling, and so it's something that stands out to me much more. The way he wrestles and his character,
uses his face and mannerisms are a big part of everything
Ethan
he
Paige
does.
is smacking him, and then Fallah's like smacking his head. Like, come on, I do this all the time. It's just little things like that make Fallah, I think, stand out from the rest of the
Dude, Ethan Paige makes everybody look good in the ring. I always like
really?
that,
Okay.
dude. I like the way Paige bumps. I like the way he sells off of bumps. Like when he gets slammed, bro, it looks, impressive because Fallah's a sumo and shit. But the way Paige arches his back and motherfucker grinds his teeth, dude, that's a real pro. That's where if I was standing in the back next to D'Lo, I'd look at him down the side and go, yeah, fuck yeah, bro. Right there's the guy. You want somebody in your main event who's going to fucking help make somebody look good? I'm telling you, bro. And that's a guy who went through the FCW program, who knows the WWE style. That's why EC3 got over in Impact. That's why he was a Rip Rogers guy. He went to FCW, got hurt. Then he shines when he's there versus indie guys who still don't get it. Ethan Paige fucking more than gets it. And that's a legit looking opponent, and doing business in the TJP storyline. King of the North comes out. TJP gets his fucking cut off high fly shit in. And, even there's a couple things that were, I don't like falsies. The only
thing I didn't like was the roll up.
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say. I don't mind false finishes on big things because Ethan Paige is a heavyweight and it's believable that he could kick out of something from Fallah, even though Fallah's a bad motherfucker when he hits something strong, right? So to do that and end with a roll up is too cute for me, especially when we're trying to do business here. This was a time to make Fallah go over strong. You could have done the roll up. Whoa, no, duck one. Fallah gets him belly to belly and fucking hits him with that, and that's enough there. After, because they did 2 or 3 falsies on power moves to show they're each strong. If you can't beat him with a sit out power bomb, you ain't gonna fucking beat him with a roll up.
Yeah.
So do it as an insult thing. Duck one, hook him, hit him. And that's all they really missed in that match, because at the end, TJP was a good cheerleader with Fallah up. I mean, it should have been Fallah up there. And heels didn't need to get all their heat there. It was good establishing. I like this match. I think it was the best match on the show. I just would have added that little thing at the end.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just didn't think this needed to end with a roll up. It needed to end with something different. And yeah, like you said, just that little extra. Do the roll up, but then have it go out and then do a finish there. So Fallah Bah getting the win, and this was another win for TJP and Fallah Bah, if I'm not mistaken. So looks like they're setting up for maybe a tag team championship match with Ethan Page and Josh Alexander.
Yeah, they got to establish these guys, and Fallah's Monster Factory, Danny Cage trained, so I know that he knows how to work for TV. And TJP was obviously at the top of the game at one point there, so he knows the tricks. You can just see the difference of guys are like, here's our time to shine, let's shine right here.
Yeah. So Fallah Bah getting the win, and it's looking like we're gonna get them in a tag team match. But backstage we got Father James Mitchell kind of with Havoc, and they see Susie back where the same place where Father James Mitchell was locked in the closet. And they walk by her. He says, Susie, thank God you're back. You look normal again. And then as soon as they walk by her, then we kind of get her following them. And almost like the Su Yung character is coming back.
Right.
It's turning it back on again.
I wasn't down with that.
Why is that?
What was the last thing we saw last week?
That she was – the first thing we should have saw was her as Su Yung, right?
Right. Not as fucking Susie again. Susie is we saw the transformation to Su Yung. We want to see Rampage. They reset the clock back, and it wasn't as good a continuity. And I'm thinking to myself, did they just shoot it out of order and it looked good on paper and they used it, or was this something else, a second take? But then no, because it plays into the story. It just was. I mean, I'm glad they're trying to do these backstage things and whatnot, but that was a misstep in the storytelling. I felt like I've seen this in improv shows. I talked about this on Russo. It's kind of hard to explain, but so 2 people might be in a scene on stage and they say something and it's established in that reality. The people offside of the stage who are going to come on and do bits in the next forwarding of that reality need to know what was established. When they go outside and invent something and the audience says, oh, you missed it, you missed where the move was there, you can feel it in the room. It's palpable of they called him Farmer Blue, but he's really Farmer Green. They missed the fucking thing. You're like, oh, shit, he missed his name. Or he was called Larry in that last scene and you called him Carl. And when we know that's the character. You can feel that and I kind of felt that here where I was like, we're going to get to see Su Yung, but no, now. And then we went back to Josh Matthews having to put it over going, Su Yung can be both Susie and Su Yung now. What's going to happen? I was like, see, they know they fucked up because he wouldn't have had to say that if not, dude. Something in the story continuity was not right there.
Yeah. This might be the first time this ever happened on Twitch and with Ben Hamin. I have to take a shit, and if I don't,
go for it, man. Go get it done.
I'll get you started on the next one. Rob Van Dam and Joey Ryan.
Oof.
This was one I've been looking forward to. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, man. This was Katie Forbes. As soon as she comes out, that's the fucking end all be all, pretty much, of her shaking that Instagram, front and back that she's got. And RVD is with it, obviously, in his midlife crisis and his hot-ass girlfriend and her girlfriend. But I don't know. Not that I don't mind watching super hot chicks shake their ass, but she is scene stealing a little bit here. And what's funny is Rob Van Dam is kind of like, I can see he's half selling it. He's also like, all right, calm down, which he was also like with Fonzie. Fonzie would scene steal from him, especially with the whistle and shit all the time. So Rob's been fucking kind of not plagued by this, but it's just funny that 2 different times the people you have on the outside when he singles scene steal from him. And, you know, Joey Ryan, this was interesting because Joey Ryan's obviously got his dick flip spot, and RVD, especially in the pay window, probably makes about 5-6 times what Joey Ryan is making there because I know he don't work for fucking cheap. So to see him not really sell the dick spot, so he gets into it, but then RVD does a step over and pushes his fucking hand off and then kicks Joey in the fucking face for the finish after they did this standoff, like kind of fuck you back and forth, which was interesting. Pie facing each other and pushing each other. But RVD goes over on Joey Ryan, and fucking the announcers there go, have you ever seen anybody reverse out of the dick flip before? So he doesn't get the dick flip on RVD. I think that's, you know, for me, pretty interesting of backstage of telling like, all right, RVD, you're going to work with Joey Ryan. He's like, I'm not taking the dick flip. He's like, what do you mean, dude? That is his gimmick. He goes, I don't give a fuck. I'm Rob Van Dam, dude. I've been WWE champ and Impact champ. This guy's a gimmick. I'm not doing it. He's lucky to be in the ring with me. I could see RVD putting it over that way, and Joey would be like, okay, man, whatever. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. We'll do this spot, and you can go over on me. And Joey will just do business, and we'll go back to playing my game because it's not worth the headache of pissing off RVD. So, because why fucking rock the boat? It's phony wrestling at the end of the day when they all want to get paid. So RVD is really one of the first ones I've seen to break the cock lock or whatever the fuck, dick flip, because he's a bigger star and he ain't selling for that shit, which I say protect your business a lot of the time, and that's pretty interesting. So are we going to get a series where Joey is now motivated to dick flip RVD, or are we just going to go our separate fucking ways? Because that is something. If RVD's the first one to say, fuck that, I'm not doing that shit, when there's been plenty of guys who did it who you like, why would Bubba Ray do shit like that, you know, and whatnot, when he could easily be one of the ones to say, fuck that. But Rob was the guy that I'm aware of to be the only one who's done that. There's no good way to say you got to take a shit. There is no good way. But that's what happens when you drink the coffee and you get on air. You never know. It's a race against the clock. Did Mick Foley broke it, like putting the Sacco in to fucking break it? Well, maybe, but I think Foley even took it too. So it's interesting to me if there will be any spin out from this, because that is, you know, something that should be on Joey Ryan's checklist, is to dick flip RVD at this point, but he didn't do it. And I don't know if it was because of big leaguing or taking care of your own biz or what.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He didn't want to sell that at all. It looked like
No,
because he didn't make any like facial expressions. He didn't like. I think it was Ken Shamrock who like did his like hand thing, like that hurt, and RVD's just went.
RVD's like, I'm not selling for that shit, bro.
I still would have liked if anything. I know this maybe was never going to happen. I still would have liked if Katie Forbes went up there and grabbed it and just was like, this is it? Like, this is all you got? Like, kind of that, like, Katie Forbes can handle anything
yeah,
sort of thing.
I think they could have got over doing the dick flip thing in reverse, because Katie was scene stealing so much. She's so fucking, you know, sexy and like getting her leg up and doing twerk and look at my crotch. Like, she don't care, bro. Like, she knows what she is, right? She's a professional Instagram chick. So, you know, I want to see the vagina power. Like, Rob could have fucking had his hand on the cock. She comes in, takes her hand and puts it on her pussy, and then then she hulks up one time or does like the RVD thing, and that pumps through Rob, and now Joey fucking sells, and Rob can dick flip Joey. Like, that's a way to save this type of shit. You know what I mean? So
that sounds incredible.
There's just
like the power struggle, having basically Rob Van Dam, the
just he's the fucking
manifestation of the power struggle.
He's the fucking rope in the middle, right? And the fucking pump. So now we established that Katie Forbes' pussy is fucking super strong, right. And now there's like Joey Ryan has kryptonite. What is it? You know what I mean? Maybe somebody's got a big match with him, and it's not Rob Van Dam, but now they have to go get Katie to be in their corner in case they need to hulk up, so they put their hand on Katie's crotch, and she comes to life. Now that person's got heat with Rob Van Dam for touching his old lady's crotch, plus they got to fucking beat Joey Ryan. There's tons of things you can go down when you create an absurd world if you fucking stick to the game. Yeah, when you don't stick to the game, it makes an aha moment. And in improv, we say there are no mistakes, but Rob not selling for Joey is an aha moment. Now, are they going to do anything with it, or are we just going to fucking go on and the audience will go, oh, okay.
Right.
So,
yeah. No, you're right. So now they established something that Rob Van Dam is, because that was the first time, and it's incredible. Because that move was protected more than anything else in Impact Wrestling. So now Rob Van Dam getting over on it and reversing it's like, oh, man.
Is it politics or is it something else? And it doesn't need to be Katie's box. It could be she bends over and twerks and her ass starts jiggling. You put your hand on her ass cheek.
Yeah.
That's a little more TV friendly than fucking grabbing her by the, the pussy. But fucking, and that's enough. And you fucking, you get the fucking power and then you start jingling fucking Joey Ryan's nutsack, and then he fucking flips or something,
Yeah, I wish it would have gotten more absurd like that, because Katie Forbes is like the perfect foil for the Joey Ryan character.
Exactly,
and I
bro.
would have loved it.
I would have looked at D'Lo on that one. I go, you should have gone with my idea, bro. But nobody's fucking asking. So
Rob Van Dam won. First time we get the Joey Ryan Dickplex kind of reversed, and so we'll see what happens from that.
I even sent him, dude. I sent it to him. I think I stooged it off in DMs, dude. I sent him. I was like, I'm not gonna sit on this. Why, dude? Do the spunk spinning toe hold, and the fucking ankle cock submission. There's two fucking things that you can get over, bro.
The ankle cock submission.
You just got to turn him over, put your fucking foot in his fucking nut sack, and fucking turn his hips, and you tap out ankle cock submission.
That's incredible.
Spunk spinning toe hold is just the spinning toe hold, and his fucking foot is on your nut sack, and that's enough. And the funk spinning toe hold, if you didn't know.
Do more offensive maneuvers around, his junk.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So
yeah, certainly room to do a lot of that. But yeah, I find it. I think you're right. The interesting part now is like what happens with Joey Ryan and Rob Van Dam. Like, what's the next?
I predict nothing. I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think they do with Joey Ryan then? I guess next.
Right back to doing the gimmick.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know what they're doing. I saw the Stooge report from Vegas. He's doing like right to censor. But it's cancel culture.
Oh, okay. That's basically
So he's dressing like a cancel culture nerd.
Like me.
Are you cancel culture?
Not cancel culture.
No, like someone who is really like a protester. Like, you can't say that. You can't do this on TV. I think that's what he's fucking doing. Like, is his next thing. Which maybe that's an opportunity to bring Stevie back, right? To censor, But we'll see.
Right, the greatest theme music of all time. Right behind though, Isaac Yankum.
Good.
And his dentist needle theme music.
Scott Steiner's Sirens.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, maybe it could be. That'd be great. But yeah, so I guess that's where they're going next, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That'll be I think that could be a tough thing to do for them, but we'll see. But backstage, we get the payoff to this Sue Young thing. She comes back and she has like a rope around James Mitchell's neck, and then it got, maybe too weird for me, or like they're trying to do too much with this. Then he like wakes up and like this song's playing and he's like, "Oh, I'm finally back," or something weird like that.
Yeah,
it got a little. Maybe this is something.
Did she kill him? Did she kill him? And is he in the underworld? I think that's what it is.
I just think it may be going back to something James Mitchell's done in the past that maybe I've never seen before. It's maybe something he's done in Impact or whatever.
It felt like in Beetlejuice when you go to the dead side.
I love Beetlejuice.
Right? Didn't that what it felt like for a second without doing too much?
It did.
So I was interested in that too. And it's bizarre, so I say let him go with it, man. What they got a vision that's not something you mail in. They have someplace they're going, and I don't really see it, so I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go with that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I am too, because I don't know. It felt.
All we needed was that. All we needed was her dragging him down the fucking hallway and him doing that.
I think that's all we. Him then waking up.
We didn't need that first scene because we left with her. We should have started right there. That first scene was too much.
That's a good point.
And
what about the after the like you were saying, cut in the Beetlejuice thing? Was that? Do you think that was a necessary part? Or
is there an
I guess maybe setting up for something next week.
It's an underworld. It's a different, I think, cracked world. I loved the soul music there. Like I like scenes like that are weird with like this like music that's different from what we would be expecting. Undertaker creepy stuff that makes it far more interesting to me. So it was very good.
Yeah. So now we get going next. We get Willie Mack and Johnny Swinger against the Daisy Hit Squad, and Willie Mack at first gets attacked by them, and then Johnny Swinger comes out. This whole thing is basically, first of all, Daisy Hit Squad is winning, which is something that's been recent and a trend now. But really, Willie Mack and Johnny Swinger. Willie Mack, Rich Swann is out, so Willie Mack doesn't have a partner. Johnny Swinger's trying to go in. And this is the first time they actually had a tag match together. How do you think, first of all, the pairing of Willie Mack and Johnny Swinger looked? But overall, this match?
Yeah, so, it was kind of weird, man. Like, there's a lot to fix in the whole segment. So Gama comes out to introduce his boys, and it's kind of weird and stale. Of like, Gama, get out there and introduce your guys. Gama's a manager with heat. And he's the mentor of these guys. He should be coming out with them, not trying to intro them in an Indian accent. It didn't work.
No, because I can just picture it, him actually promoting, but them two standing tall right behind him, sort of.
It's way better for those guys. It's better to have the white guy announcer introing them, or the Mexican announcer, where they're obviously in Mexico. And they're coming down, and the guy like half gets the name wrong, sang, and Gama gets in his face and says, "You fucking say my name right, motherfucker." You know what I mean? Like, that's his role, not to intro those guys. Gama has heat. He's the fucking leader. That took a lot of power away from them right away. So there's mistake one. Then Hakeem Zayn Rohit Raju. He reminds me so much of Jamin Olivencia, dude. The guy just comes through on camera. He knows when to be an asshole when he's doing the stomp around, like, come on, motherfucker. Like, I pop when he does that. And the other dude, fuck's his name? The big guy. Mahabali Shira.
Yeah.
Like, dude, before, I don't know if he's second guessing himself. He's taking too much time to sell, and he looks green. When he first came in, he looked way more polished than I kind of see his performance here. I don't know if he's lacking confidence right now, but he's so big and so on that WrestleMania diet that, like, I don't know, his performance isn't really stepped up to be as believable. Then they get heat on Willie, and Johnny comes running in after. There was this little sketch backstage that didn't really go too well between Mac and Swinger too, where Mac tells Swinger to stay there and da-da-da-da. It just didn't have the chemistry. And then we get this tag match, and it's babies up at the end, right? Swinger and Desi did hit it on him. That's right. Sorry.
Because they pinned Johnny Swinger while Willie Mack was going after the manager.
Right. And, they did this. Yeah. So the heel spot was right here, right? Like the distraction. The heels are up because of that, because they split them. Swinger can take the loss. It'll be funny to see his reaction next week.
Now, is this one where because Swinger took the loss and Mac was kind of at fault? Is that now all right, maybe I have to apologize to this guy. I've been kind of an asshole.
Maybe, or Swinger goes, Briz, where were you? You left me hanging out there, stud. Like, brother, I was there looking for the hot tag, and you were nowhere to be found. You're out chasing some Rizats. Did I drop my pills or something? My Pizzills, bro? Like, he can get all his shit in. That's an opportunity for character. Swinger's whole thing is about character, so he needs interactions, not matches. So a loss there gives him a reason to have a cool little funny scene to get more of his jokes in. So fuck a win or a loss, and the heels get their heat. And they get their character back over. Willie Mack, dude, I don't know. I want so much more out of him, bro. Like, this is he never worked East Coast with us during the 2CW time when he was really getting over as an indie guy in PWG, but that's where you heard about him and shit. Like, here's this fat guy, who's really athletic and whatnot. And I heard he was like really loved by the crowd because he was charismatic. But I'm not seeing him connect with the crowd. I look at him and I want him to be the new age junkyard dog, like having some shit like that where he's, he doesn't have to do the fucking knees and all that kind of shit and shuck and jive, but he's not taking any time for character, especially if he's kind of showing up as a bummy looking kind of dude, right? Uncoiffed hair. He just has wrestling tights and he's that guy. He needs to be able to connect to people, and he's not. Just some heavy guy doing athletic shit is not gonna get over. So I'm like, where's this guy I heard so much about that was gonna be the next, like, people are gonna love him just because like he's like Big E or something,
Right. Yeah, he's certainly there. There's a stark contrast to when we first started Impact Attack. Willie Mack was coming out with Rich Swann and was charismatic, kind of having a good time, big smiles. He had his tights were a lot lighter in terms of color, so everything was like popping off screen and
Right.
more moving around and happy. And now everything's dark colored. It's almost like they're putting over this like depressing mood over Willie Mack.
Yeah, the shooting with the black background. Yeah, that dark.
It's like really everything since has been really like just a depressing mood over it. If that's because his partner's out and he's there was this whole thing that he wasn't having any confidence going into their tag team championship match, and so that was the thing. So I guess that's carrying over. Are they trying to make?
Dude, he's just on TV. Don't you want to make the big impression? And like, it feels like he's mailing it in kind of every week to me, dude. Like, I'm glad to be a motherfucker. I'm glad to be a motherfucking wrestler, dude. Yeah, I'm here. Whatever the fuck.
That's how they're portraying him too, in terms of the interviews that he's done, the promos. And
I feel like that's on him. Like, he's not pulling a performance out of himself. Like, I'm not getting it's blase blah, dude. And even this like popped me too because commentary keeps burying things. I think he might have suggested it and Swinger didn't do it and he was hot about it. Where he goes, Cyrus goes, dude, I thought I was gonna get the little Hogan air guitar on the chair and whatnot. And Josh is like, no NWO for you tonight, buddy. Or like, that is the perfect spot that Swinger should be doing all that fucking kind of shit. You know what I mean? And even talking to Hulkster like through the camera, brother, I got this one's for you. Like, that's how like Hogan would come back for a one-off to do something with Swinger where just for a fucking scene and like make them, man. Why the fuck not? But I think Willie Mack is blowing an opportunity here, bro. Like, I'm not seeing 40% of what I expected to see from him. Not that I want the shuck and jive that he was doing with Rich. I think they both can transition past that. But what is that? The guy looks like a dude the crowd could really love and get behind, but he ain't giving them nothing. He ain't giving them nothing.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, I just don't know either because I just saw the first episode. We were doing this Impact Attack. First episode I saw. Willie Mack like stood out to me. I'm like, this guy's he moves around in the ring really well, and I thought he had good matches. And then he was like this fun attitude, like seemed charismatic, and I haven't seen that since. So I don't know where it went. If they told him to do this, or if he's just not.
I think he got into Swinger's pizzles because he seems like he's on some downers, bro, or something.
So yeah, I have no idea. It's certainly something noticeable and very, very odd that it's happening to somebody in Willie Mack, who I think I had high hopes for when I started watching Impact because I think he can do some really good stuff. But Daisy Hit Squad got the win. Next, we get into Tessa Blanchard in this backstage promo, but really the big thing, Ace Austin comes out and starts basically getting under Tessa's skin by kind of hitting on her and saying the line, likes a girl with daddy issues, which, to be honest, I kind of like this.
That was good.
It was great because I just think it's great. Ace Austin is a scumbag. That's And I think it's a good opponent for Tessa, who now is the first women's champion, women's world heavyweight champion, and the Impact Wrestling champion. And the first match she's going to have is a guy that's a scumbag towards women. Like, I like it. I
Yeah,
think it's great.
and he's pretty much same size, so she doesn't have a big battle to overcome. Yeah, I like it too. I mean, Sammy's small too. That's why it worked. But here's what I don't like as a director. I hate like, all right, you three are over on that side. You three are on that side. Run in right now. Like when I give you the cue, go. Hey, like, dude, I would say go down the end of the fucking hallway. When I drop my arms, you guys start yelling and run in so I can hear you coming from far away and you run in the scene to make it breaking up the fight look real. Otherwise, it looks like some phony fucking wrestling of those two were over there and those two were over there to break it up and get in between it when they were given the cue. It's small things like that, but it makes all the difference in a scene, bro. It makes all the difference in the believability of someone rushing where you hear, they're over here. No, he's fucking her up. And then like now people.
Well, yeah, just imagine if they were out in the ring doing this and the promo happened and all the refs are sitting there, all the people waiting to break it up are just sitting there ringside.
Yeah, ready to fucking
That's basically
dive
what it's
in.
like. It's not like they're running out of the stage. It's just they're waiting there like, all right, it's going to happen and go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. It's almost like they should visualize, hey, everybody can see everything around here.
That's a director's job. You have to see that. Like if you were making your movie and you just had your fucking actors run into the scene, like they knew they were off, it'd be come across every time. So you got to take care of your shit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little detail I didn't even think of. So that's why you're here, Ben. But yeah, overall though, it's I like the direction they're going with this. I think Ace Austin's a good first opponent. He won. I think he got the belt over Tessa, but it was with the help of OVE and Sami Callihan and all them. But it's a good first opponent. He has a win over her. He's a scumbag towards women, and she's the first women's heavyweight champion. So yeah, I think it's a good first opponent. But this is the first time they went kind of this route. At first, it's been, oh well, I'm just a better champion than you. This is the first time it got into a little bit more personal and more.
They've made a mistake here, though.
What's that? What's the mistake?
They never paid the shit off with the mom and having real heat where he was banging her.
Yep. Then he would have really looked like a scumbag going.
He should still be with the mom on the side. Fight Tessa for the title. Old boy cost him his fucking title. Like he's got, like that's how you do business. So when you drop these storylines that you invest in, that people are the I'm fucking your mom storyline is way more interesting than any belt storyline, even if it's a woman as the champ. So keep that shit going on the side. That heat's not going to go away. So now in Ace Austin, he's elevated because we had an interesting storyline and now he gets a title shot and he's just about to beat her. The guy whose mom he's fucking is the one that costs him. Like this shit is how it should be, but they dropped the I'm fucking your mom storyline. So now we just have the stakes of womanizer versus woman champ, which is good, but if we could add 2 or 3 more layers.
The womanizer could have you could have had a visual representation, the mom being out there of Ace Austin being the womanizer.
Ace Austin goes out there, he's fighting. The mom doesn't even need to be out there. Just about to get it, out comes her fucking son, fucks him over, you know, or the son comes out with the mom and they're arguing at the top of the ramp. Ace Austin's looking, Tessa gets one, fucking he comes and hits him. Mom's like, what the fuck did you do even to Ace Austin? She runs down, and then the kid's like, fuck you, mom, but Ace Austin's already beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing multiple part business because you set up these worlds, and then when you can collide them, that sweet spot in the middle is the Venn diagram, fucking collides, is where you do multi-part business. But you have to stick to every detail for the people who are watching every week. And if you do that, those worlds will eventually come together, and then you can do the real magic of wrestling where your audience goes, aha, that was fucking cool. Because if you're watching with your casual friends, you go, dude, because he was banging his mom, they came down, that's why he's no, there's his mom, bro, look at that. Like, and then it all unfolds. Or the audience will be like, wouldn't it be cool if them fucking, he comes out with his, and then they do it, you're like, yes, fucking do it. Now you're really invested, bro. But unless you really pay attention to all the details, you're not going to be able to do that kind of shit. WWE can't, because their writing team is so compartmentalized where you and I go write something and then they go write something and we try and piecemeal it together, and nobody's got a full creative team effort to create those worlds to say, hey, my shit can bump into yours and we can do something cool right here. Nobody's even operating near that fucking level, dude.
Yeah, that's something. It's obviously it's a way to write television or any movie is having those sides, those individual storylines, but then when those characters interact, it's like two different worlds interacting, and it becomes this, okay, how are these two going to clash, or how is this going to get to
just the relationship of the Avengers when they come together.
Exactly. Yes. Like, how are these worlds going to collide, and how are it makes even if it's not a great interaction, it still makes it interesting, because how are they going to communicate? Like, what's going to happen with these two different worlds?
Because your audience is invested into those individual worlds.
Yes. Yeah.
And when they feel them getting nearer and nearer together, they're like, oh, fuck, this could happen here, and the possibilities are fucking this, that, and the other. Whoa. Yeah. And that's the fucking magic. And dude, there's me, Adam Revolver, Ted McNailer, Josh Generay, Steve King, Russo, Stevie, and maybe 2 or 3 others that I could name that could accomplish that in wrestling today. Nobody else who's running a TV show. Cyrus could. Cyrus and Conan and Disco can do it. There's nobody else who can really accomplish that. Cornette, but no one's going to give him the fucking reins to do it.
Yeah, and I think... when I look back on like Attitude Era type stuff, a lot of that happened, really, because a lot of like the Kane and Undertaker stuff, that was a separate storyline, but those worlds would always collide with the Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was having a feud with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon was using Kane, but Undertaker had a thing with it. Was just all of these different, like, it was these.
And just when you think Austin's fucked, Taker comes for the save.
Yeah, it's just all these different worlds colliding, and that's what made it so fun and interesting. People are like, oh my god, well, he's coming out to help him, but is the Stone Cold even like the Undertaker? Like, what? It was we know the certain set of kind of boundaries of what the story
of the rules
is,
you're writing.
Undertaker,
yes,
but then now you're crossing,
and now they fuck it, because this week on Raw they open with fucking Seth and the squad, the Disciples, and they bring out Owens and Joe and the fucking Vikings. They one of the last things is Joe gets the clutch on fucking Murphy, and they're going to set up for the fucking thing. But instead of cutting the commercial there, heels powder, escape, fucking babies are left, and down comes fucking Becky to interact, to like walk through the baby faces as they're exiting, instead of cutting the commercial there. Now we know that Becky is with fucking Seth. We established that reality, but here we're not fucking even acknowledging it. So see what I'm saying about burdening your audience with this shit? Here's a fucking thing. Like, why the fuck would the dude who's the leader of that crew and his chick walk straight through you like nothing fucking happened, instead of taking a commercial break there, a pause? Like, that's just sloppy, lazy, fuck you to your audience type of stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. Because as you just described, and kind of what we've been describing of having these kind of interwoven storylines and everything happen. Yeah, it's just something we know of. Okay, we want to see that. That's interesting. And then nothing.
You can't establish.
We don't get that.
You can't establish Beth and fucking Seth and Becky, and then 3-4 months later,
do nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
A fucking bitch bites the back of her neck out on fucking Raw, and Seth isn't going to come help her or like deliver her from evil or heal her as he's now the Messiah. Like, none of that. We're not doing none of that. Oh, okay. Fuck you and fuck me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why not Seth come out and her? I mean, it would have been awesome if he comes out, try to help her, and she's just like, she's kind of like almost like, oh my god, is she turning into like this?
No, if he's Jesus, and who is Jesus's fucking girlfriend?
Mary Magdalene.
Then who the fuck should
or
she
supposed to be? But
who's
Jesus
the fuck should she be? Yeah, that's it. Like,
this
Jesus, he should have fucking. Oh well, yeah, whatever.
But
you lost that argument, a Catholic boy.
Yeah, Catholic school is phenomenal, let me tell you. But yeah, no, it's something that it's much more appreciated because I guess the limits of what the story is now opens up, and then we get to see something really cool. And like this one, we could have seen that with Ace Austin and Trey Miguel, and then Tessa Blanchard. We didn't.
Could have, but I'm not hired, bro.
That's a good point. Maybe if they did, they would have had that story knocked down.
Absolutely
would have.
Cool. Absolutely
Ace Austin would be the biggest scumbag in wrestling right now.
Instead, he's a 60% scumbag.
Yeah. So now we get the Knockouts Championship match. Taya with Johnny Bravo on the sideline.
People will be talking about Ace Austin like they talk about MJF if they would have fucking done that right.
Yeah, they absolutely. I was just thinking that he would have been almost this MJF level.
He would have, and now he's not.
Yeah, which MJF I absolutely love. I don't know if you're.
He's great. He's fucking phenomenal. Awesome. I totally agree.
So now we get to our main event, the Knockouts Championship match. Taya against Jordynne Grace. One thing I really liked about this, the use of Johnny Bravo and them kind of Jordynne Grace not being able to get a hold of Taya because of Johnny Bravo's antics. You seem like you didn't like this.
Dude.
So
get ready.
So let's get into this.
Get ready to fucking go to school. I guess, Taya's doing good business. Shout out. Always like to see it pay off. And good for Jordynne. But this match was all wrong, bro. They buried the ref. John, this whole match is about Johnny Bravo getting his shit in instead of the title. So they do 3 ref distraction spots. 1, sure. 2, maybe. 3, ref looks fucking stupid and ref is getting buried. Then they even do on the crippler crossface, pull the arm right in front of the ref to put her on the rope. Ref looks right at him, doesn't do shit because he knows that he's involved in the finish. So he doesn't even admonish him really that much there. Then she comes in and Jordynne hits him with something and takes him out. So he's in the ring. Still doesn't get thrown the fuck out while his limp body is in the ring. She goes up to hit her shit. He crawls across the ring, puts himself over Taya's body. Jordynne says, fuck it, still hits the big mama bomb on him, and fucking still doesn't get thrown out. Then we go into the fucking finish, dip, and then fucking Jordynne's up, dude. And then the crying face Jordynne was making is not the face that you want to like show on replay. I don't know what that face was she was making, dude, but it was like very trolly and very like not attractive. So they're like, I don't know, man. It was strange of like if she was really crying for the belt, which is phony to start with. This match should have been about competition between these two women and a true passing of the torch. Instead, this whole match was way overbooked. I like Johnny Bravo a lot. He needed 1, maybe 2 spots. Then he gets thrown out of the fucking match. So the Mexican people can go, yeah, get him this gringo the fuck out of here. Then we go into our serious finish where she beats Taya straight up. Big Mama Pump goes over clean.
Yeah, straight out of
this
some old school WWE type stuff. Which is great. Yeah.
And then we have this whole match was based around the fucking ref being a retard and getting buried, and Johnny Bravo getting his fucking heat in, and then a power finish where she hits her with something big. And then they go, and that sets up for the whatever waka waka thing we're supposed to know for her for. The thing she hits her with for the finish, the sit out driver, wasn't as big as the setup. It just was like not right on a lot of wrestling points, and definitely not how you do make a champion based on a heel goof manager, bro. Like they buried a lot in here and they missed a lot.
And it's not just this was like the 3rd championship match in a month, and like the title is switching hands, so maybe they can just do a quick one. And Taya's been holding this belt for a long time.
And Taya's
like
over
the longest champion, I think, in like knockouts, whatever. I mean, long time.
A year. Taya's a huge heel in Mexico too. So the payoff is big. So the heat's on Taya, not on Johnny Bravo, who works up in Canada, Mexicans don't know who Johnny fucking Bravo is, man. Like, sure, he's been doing good as like the lackey, but this is a payoff title switch match, not what they did, dude. And
I
the
think you're
agent
right.
thing was all wrong on this, man. I
It should
felt
have been
bad for
Bravo
him.
doing that for the first part of the match, then getting thrown out, so you get that pop, and then all of a sudden, you're right, it gets into that second half of okay,
Serious.
now it's a wrestling match.
Right.
Yeah, and then we know how great Taya is, and I think Jordan Grace is good, and
Yeah.
so I think they could have had that second half. You already set up this one storyline, and everybody's popped for it. Now everybody's interested, and then you just from there you have them in the palm of your hand, and I think can do something really cool. And the thing is, like, you're right. It's the stakes of this wasn't just a regular championship match they kind of threw together. Like it was. This is one that's been brewing for a while. Taya's been champion for such a long time. It could have been this big,
Yeah.
huge moment of the passing the torch, but instead, I think you're right. It was more on the focus is more on Johnny Bravo than Ty.
I had to ask myself if there's nobody agenting this and they're getting to put this stuff together themselves, because that's all I could really see, that somebody kind of gave him the finish. You're going over, put it together, use him for a couple heat spots, and then it's going to sound asshole, but it's all hypothetical anyway, that Jordan Grace and Johnny Bravo and maybe even Taya's inexperience or working too many indies is what fucked up this match, because it had so many indie spot things in it that were like for a house show that could have been cut. And then there's things that Jordan Grace does that show me that she's still kind of a green competitor. And this is things you'd never pick up on, but like, you know, when she was climbing the ropes when Taya was, and Jordan grabbed her legs and fucking shook her off, like pulled her down. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So Taya hits the fucking ground and like her legs buckle off from underneath her. It was dangerous. You don't grab somebody by the boot to pull them down, because now they have to land on one leg. When you're going to do that as a pro, you grab them by the belt or the upper thigh if you need to work it. But if you got one of my legs, now I got to fucking drop down on one leg and try and be safe. Sure, in your video game mind, that's the fucking way it would go. But as a worker, a real worker will go. I even seen GGP do it. We were wrestling, who the fuck was it? Can't remember who it was. We were there, and GGP had to do a drop down like that, and he thanked me. He goes, "Dude, thanks for grabbing me by the tights. I hate it when fucking guys grab my leg. They don't know. Like, it's stupid to do that, but here's Jordan Grace grabbing her by the fucking ankle, hucking her legs out, dude. Like, again, that's the small things that delineate a true pro in my mind versus somebody who's got 40,000 Instagram followers or thinks they're fucking great at this shit. Because it's those small things that show me not so great at this shit.
Right. So we do get Jordan Grace winning with the Grace driver. So now Jordan Grace is the champion. Taya Valkyrie's long reign is over. What happens next now? Now that Taya lost the belt, we're not going to see her with the belt for the first time in a long time, and Jordan Grace is now champion. So I'm assuming a rematch is in order here.
Yeah, they said Taya re-signed, right?
I think so. I think she's going to. Yeah, she's continuing with Impact. Yeah.
That's what I heard too. But to me, that feels like a work, and she just dropped the belt because she's going to WWE.
Could be. I know that's been on the table. That's been rumored that she could go to WWE.
That's why I would take the belt off her. Why I wouldn't take it off her otherwise? You know,
right? Just in case she were to.
Who's she gonna spin out with? And she's not gonna face Tessa, because that'll be a fucking rib on wrestling. Two women fighting for your world fucking title. And then she's not going to fucking fight, I don't think ODB. Maybe have a program with ODB, but I don't think so. Madison Rain, there's really not a lot of teeth there. Havoc and Sue Young are tied up. Kiera Hogan, that's kind of...
She was really with Madison Rain, and that they helped Taya. So they were kind of like...
That's kind of feeder, though. There's not a lot of teeth there unless you're starting new business with something, and that Mean Girls shit really doesn't draw. You know what I mean? So, that's their whole women's division, isn't it?
Yes.
So to me, she dropped the belt and she's going to WWE. I could be wrong. You know,
Well, first of all, that'd be a great signing, I think, for WWE.
it would have been, but they already blew it with John Morrison. They fucked it up.
Yeah, I could have waited till she came in. All I know is I don't know if she'd go to the main roster like SmackDown or Raw, but if she were to go to NXT, that again builds one of the best
NXT
rosters.
needs her because Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley are about to get called up. Her and Scarlett Bordeaux are the perfect mix of sexy and sexy who can get it done in the ring. So I think
they just reloads again at the women's division. I think in NXT that
I agree with that.
One of the best divisions in WWE.
So I think
reload them with them would be amazing.
I think to me this felt like doing good business on the way out of the territory. Because why else would you beat your top heel when you got nobody or nothing else to fold her out into? So
right.
But the rumor was she re-signed, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But Jordynne Grace is now the champion. It could have been, in your eyes, a lot more of a win for Jordynne Grace. But instead,
I just wish I had a hand to fucking listen to these things because, you know, like even with him burying the ref and too many heat spots, that buries him as a bad guy. Like he should be getting away with small things. So if you overdo the cheats, they don't really mean shit. Everybody's stupid except for you, you know?
Yeah, I think you're the one thing you said that stuck with me that is a great point is that a lot of the focus was on the ref and Johnny Bravo and not on your year-long knockout women champion.
In a payoff, that's where it needs to be. You can do those things, and it's Johnny Bravo's moment when he gets thrown out to throw the temper tantrum, but rip the head off the little... It should be a small
piece of the match. It shouldn't be the main focus.
He rips the head off the dog, and then he fucking cries about it as he goes to the back, and now we're back to wrestling, and they didn't get any of that, man. And I was just like, how do we miss on that one? That's the only thing where I can think of is... And I hate to say this, they got to put their own match together, and it was with an indie mentality. But I think Taya's way smarter than that. I don't know, and I think Johnny and Jordan are too. So I don't know how that got through quality control. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's something that's interesting, and you know it's tough to ever find that kind of stuff out, but. It would be interesting if we.
How do you feel about girls' main events? Because SmackDown, I felt ended lackluster, and not because there were girls on this, because I didn't like how the match was booked. I was like, 2-girl main event go homes, and I kind of felt left wanting more on both of the shows.
Well, I think this one called for it. If you're going to, if the finish is going to be, you're taking the belt off of a year-long champion.
Yeah, you got it. You're
certainly
right.
Main event. But like you said, it just didn't feel like a main event because they didn't build it up as such. I mean, going into this, that should have been, I know they focus on a little bit each time, but like this should have gotten a lot more attention. This should have been the main focus. Like even in the middle of the show, like have a video package or something like build up the fact that you're about to take the belt off of your longest reigning champion. And now she's got this challenger that is formidable. This could be it. But instead it just was it's almost like it's a belt that's been tossed around for the past few months. So they're just doing another match and they do it real quick. This didn't feel like a build up to a year-long championship reign that is now ending.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine that because I know you aren't a big of the style, but New Japan had Okada for how long a champion, and they take it off of him in this great match, big stage in Wrestle Kingdom. They made such a big deal about it, and it was a great moment, and it was incredible. But this one just felt like...
Are you excited to see Okada get stood up with one foot by Aleister Black and kicked in the fucking face and fall down and get pinned?
Wait, is that what's happening?
Triple H wants Okada, and
I did see that. He wants Okada.
Yeah, but that's what happened to Tozawa last week. So he fucking got beat by Aleister Black in 90 seconds, and it sandbagged.
I just don't. I don't.
So there's your hopes for fucking
Okada.
Okada.
That's one where Okada is rightfully, I think, at New Japan, where he is. I think we're just gonna see the best out of him.
He never fucking beat me, and I'm not scared of the motherfucker. So come with it, Okada.
I love the Rainmaker. But yeah, that's it for the Impact show. Overall thought. We're now moving into the Vegas tapings. So certainly a lot.
Yeah, the big
Different storylines
Eric
going in.
Young versus throwback match versus
Yeah,
Magnus.
Yeah.
I mean, when that's the biggest match on your show and it's a throwback, that's a problem. That's a problem. This show, even though they did pay off business, it didn't do what I wanted it to. In the beginning, they were flat. I wanted more character from Willie Mack. That first scene in the Sue Young stuff could have hit the editing room floor. We missed on the Ace Austin with the mom and the fucking son thing there, but the backstage fight was cool. Would have tightened it up, like I said, on the run-ins from the guys to make it look more believable and less wrestling. Yeah. And the main event needed to be fixed. I think Fallah stole the show with Desi Hit Squad. I think Hakeem Zayn looks good. I hope that Mahabali gets some more confidence. I think that's a big thing. Somebody really needs to work with him on, and is selling a little bit more. But yeah, man, I think this is the problem that Impact has at the end of these runs. These shows seem piecemealed, and they seemed like not as inspired as when they start out
running out of steam. Basically,
they're running out of steam. They're running out of steam.
The last week's show was in kind of I would assume, the middle of these tapings, and it was a good show. We both liked it.
Yeah, a big Dr. Wagner mark. Toros got over with
a lot of great stuff. Yeah. But again, maybe when you're at the end of a taping like that, and they've already wrestled a few times,
then the solution for that is you got to go one more day to get shit that like we've been coming up thin at the end on the 6 weeks, guys. Let's add one more show so we got quality content to make sure we got it, dude. Instead of getting 4 out of 6 and 5 and 6 are like, and then you start over again. Let's get all 6 weeks quality.
Yeah.
So,
because it certainly wasn't. It was up and down, and I think that's just what happens. I don't know. Maybe that's what happens when talent is working a bunch of matches in one night and doing these tapings or whatever it is. And it just seemed like fatigue. It really did. The crowd was fatigued. First of all,
I was.
You can definitely tell that. I was fatigued, and I think the wrestlers were as well. So maybe something does need to happen. But what do you got for us, Ben? Yeah, I know you mentioned something on the Horsemen tonight.
Yeah, Tim Alberino tonight on the Conspiracy Horseman, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman or HackerHamin.podbean.com. Had a good time on Russo's brand last night and on the Patreon, where Vince went to jail or to prison. So if you're not a Patreon subscriber, Vince has a lot of fun on that one. We tell some pretty hardcore shoot stories too of a friend of mine and how he got blackballed from WWE for some lies and some insane stuff, So it's a good, if you haven't joined Patreon yet, that's a good spend, $3 I think. And Russo's brand for the Raw and SmackDown review. All the locker rooms are great here at HackerHamin.podbean.com this week. I listened to Jargo and Vickery. I just listened to Bello and Strangler Steve having a good time, and that means I got to step up my game with Stevie this week for Fridays. So everyone's kicking ass, man. This show, Impact Attack, Colin and Ray on the Smack Attack. Silvio and I will be together because MSG's still running the Master Control, so we'll be covering AEW too Thursday, and I always love hanging with Silvio, man. We got the same mentality, but we do things in a different way, and I always love hearing his opinion on things. I got the new Horror Junkyard I got to post, Pro Wrestling Reflection, new Crow 777, new Right Opinion posted today for your political anger. So you guys, it's all free here at HackerHamin.podbean.com, and because it is, take your fucking ass to ProWrestlingTees.com/BenHamin and buy a shirt, infidels. We got web space to pay for. Some new projects coming up, an exclusive coffee for Vince Russo. I'm going to a meeting here in about 2 hours to get that done with Triple D up at Dippin' Donuts and get everything hammered out. So a lot of things going on here at Hacker Hamin Media Group. Join the Facebook group. Actually, we got something going on now. We're just launching this promotion for Black History Month. So Adam Rivera, obviously one of our great supporters, has a Rocky Johnson autograph on the late Rocky Johnson that we're actually going to give away at the end of the month. Go to, tweet at Hamin Media Group hashtag Trailblazer, which is what his dad, what The Rock was calling his dad in his eulogy, and and tweet out what your favorite Hamin Media Group link show is of the week there. So if you share a show, hashtag Trailblazer and whatever you want to do, hashtag Black History Month and tag at Hamin Media Group. We'll collate all those at the end of the month, and we're going to choose somebody to get that Rocky Johnson Sr. autograph for Black History Month, man.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, appreciate Adam Rivera, man, and appreciate all the listeners out there. His numbers just keep going up and up and up. So it's very cool. Everyone's effort, all the producers, all the hosts, everyone, all the video editors, and all the people who are sharing stuff. Can't say thank you enough.
Yeah, certainly. And for me, just follow me at JJansen34. That's where you see all of my stuff and my XFL thoughts now.
Yeah, excellent,
XFL,
man.
Yeah, they had good ratings first weekend, and looks like XFL, at least for this season, is here to stay. I think
it'll be an interesting week too, man. And my cousin may be back tomorrow with Stevie and Jargo. I'm not sure what your schedule is. To talk XFL and then NFL in our new show that way with Hitting the Marks football. So I'm happy to have him on. But you guys know what it is. It's Impact Attack. It's HackerHamin. It's JoJan Infidels. That's right. It's Altered Bridge. It's as tragically hip as it gets around here. Bring $5, catch or face slap. YOLO. Didn't even cough on that one, dude.